Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 Crunchyroll Awards. My name is Ricky Gervais, very smart, smarter than you, smarter than people that do that disgusting process. And, you know, I don't hate anyone. I love everyone except for them. Them being the out-group, the people we must unite against. That being said, you know, the Christians, very dumb, very stupid, very dogmatic. And I think when you're faced with that kind of dogma, what's important is to lock hands, lock step, and decide what your internal rules for facing them are. But yes, thank you all for coming here today. Now, I'm not particularly loved in the anime community, or any community, but I will be speaking at length anyway, and I have 1995's best burns. For example, that pop starlet, her personal life is pretty disorganized, didn't you know? Alright, I'm done kicking sand on Senor Gervais.
I mean, kick all the sand you want. Kick any sand on any proud resident of Turf Island, for all I goddamn care.
Turf Island is kind of like Mirror Earth, only it's only in England.
I have a slightly more anime-related story before we get started today.
Kick it off.
So Sailor Moon, right?
Okay.
Was at its heart a show about how teenagers have kind of poor judgment, right? That was the whole thing. All of the
Yeah, she has the biggest gun in the world and she's not sure how to use it or point it.
Well, it's all of the villains of the week, you know, preyed upon teenage insecurities in some way, shape, or form. What was her name in Japanese? Usagi herself was a actually very realistically flawed character. She was often, you know, kind of like superficial. She didn't always make great decisions. She felt very, very real, you know, despite, you know, being a very well-intentioned character otherwise.
Which is kind of an amusing tack of that
and
thing.
She didn't like doing shit. She was kind of lazy. I remember that was a thing.
Because when you think of the protagonist of the kind of person who, you know, finds the local equivalent of Excalibur.
Mm-hmm. But even so, there was an episode in which one of them had a cold, but still needed to do her Sailor Scout shit, right? And what does she do? She shows up with a mask, because even in a show about how teenagers are kind of fucking stupid, she could fucking wear a mask. Not even for her own benefit, but for everyone else's benefit.
Well, Sam, let me tell you, after 2.5 weeks curled up into a fucking feverish ball, it's a fucking hoax. There definitely is no virus. I was coughing because I love attention. I did the whole pukey thing once or twice because I love attention.
My partner's sense of taste is still gone, and they are actively really fucking depressed about it, and I do not blame them. I am not even half as strong as I was before all of this. I have been struggling to get back there, but it's probably going to take me at least a month.
I think that in the midst of my fever dreams, just sort of replaying the past, I actually took, like, World of Darkness derangements. Like, I think I actually had alignment drifts locked in. They have this thing in New York, probably other places too, but I can only speak to New York City on this one, where if you have the Roni and family or roommates or any multi-person living situation, they will take you to these isolation fucking hotels.
Mm-hmm.
These are places where the food is only technically that.
Mm.
And to make sure you're not dead, I understand why they do it, but to make sure you're not dead, they have to interrupt you every 4 hours. Do you know why this matters? Now, a non-sick human being is going to try to sleep for around 8 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
A sick human being might be kicking towards 12. That means 3 times throughout your rapid eye movement sleep, you will feel a rage unlike anything in your fucking lifetime. As they typically say, wellness check.
Are you alive still?
And you have to not say...
Please say yes!
You have to avoid saying something like, wellness check my dick. Because you are technically being held by the state at this moment. Mm-hmm. And it's really easy to turn that into a bad narrative.
See, for my part, Morgan and I knew that there was no way that they weren't catching it. They caught it, you know, a couple of days after I did, from me. But, so we were here, and here in my apartment is my, if I do say so myself, pretty impressive liquor collection. But the thing is that even to get through the day in bed, I was taking a irresponsible amount of ibuprofen. So there I am, hopped up on ibuprofen, lumbering around my apartment, miserable, looking for something to do, and there's Elijah Craig being like, "Hey, Sam, you want a drink?
I got death sticks.
Do you want to not feel things as much anymore?" And then I tell Elijah, no, if I do it, there's a chance I don't feel anything other than my stomach bleeding. They say you can have up to 3 drinks a day while taking ibuprofen. Yeah, but I'm taking a lot of ibuprofen. I'm extremely sick, and also I'm extremely sick and shouldn't be drinking otherwise.
You're right. We should only do 2 tall drinks. Cocktails. Make sure they're cocktails.
Long Island's. You're not even in a Long Island. I know, I don't want to die. I'm already only half full.
Anyway, I guess my point here is, I don't hate you if you think differently than me about this issue. Except I fucking do. You useless piece of shit.
I could have died.
Man. Alright, so as you can tell from the fucking little Ricky Gervais kind of riff before, they recently had the, whatchamacallit, Crunchyroll Awards.
The fifth annual Crunchyroll Anime Awards.
Right.
And this episode is going to be our rundown on the results of those awards. And, just a little conversation about the various nominees, what has been nominated, what has not been nominated. Just whether I feel like, a certain entry deserved to win or lose.
I don't know what he's talking about. So here is a little bit of the meta for you, for those of you who like to, track the game. Mm-hmm. I have not seen these results yet. Sam has seen all of them.
Yes. I've also not seen all of these shows yet.
That is an issue.
I've seen most of them at this point. Like, I'm going through all of it. I've seen a lot of these shows. I've seen maybe like 75%, at least a few episodes of 75% of these shows, give or take.
Unfortunately, as anime fans and podcasters, I think we only see like 87 shows a year.
It's always more, looking back at the year, it's always more than I thought it was. I always feel like I'm almost some fake weeb who, is not doing this for 18 hours a day. Like a real fucking weeb would. This has not completely consumed my life. But, I'll go back and I'll be like, oh, no, I've watched something like 2 or 3 dozen shows this year.
Yeah, what are you going to do with your anime pension? God, I think they may owe you more than company he works for does.
Spend it on Pocky again? I don't know. What am I expected to do? Okay, so we'll start at the bottom categories, and then move our way, through the evening. Sort of how they announce Best Picture last, that kind of thing. Cool. So Best Fantasy is going to, the lineup is going to be Tower of God, Dragon Quest, The Adventure of Dai, Dorohedoro, Decadence, Ascendance of a Bookworm, Season 2, and the winner...
you pause. It's Isekai. It's fucking Isekai.
ReZero Season 2.
Okay.
So CPAC is coming up.
CPAC is coming
up, and they're about to basically surrender to fascism, more or less. And this is kind of what that feels like. Fantasy, as a genre, surrendering it to Isekai.
It's fucking grim, because I have no idea how good or bad it is, right? But a sort of generic mainline isekai one, yes, generic fight me, and...
It's extremely generic. Interestingly enough, though, only 2, arguably 3 of the entries were... Actually, no, that's still 50% of the entries. No, that's bad. This is bad.
But my point, mainline sort of fantasy isekai thing one, right? Mm-hmm. Dragon Quest, but not. Well, I have no idea how good or bad it is. One of these shows is literally a Dragon Quest adaptation.
It's true, yeah.
You couldn't at least have chosen something fucking closer to the source zombie? What the fuck? You ever play Dragon Quest 3, by the way? A lot of fun. But...
Oh, yeah, no, they're fine games when I'm playing them.
One thing I would say about Dragon Quest?
Mm-hmm.
A lot more kicking around through those little settings they come up for those than in your average fucking isekai. Isekai's like a fucking imitation of a parody of a memory.
Yeah, no, it's what literally any idiot could ever understand about a JRPG setting, having played it or not.
It's like a fucking low-tier SNL sketch about a topic. Like,
Yeah,
they're not
exactly,
really
yeah.
directly familiar with it.
It's a Mad TV sketch about the topic.
Yeah, it's a Mad TV sketch about, like, Dragon Quest.
Sorry, Will Sasso, I did love your vines.
And here we are with it, I guess, I don't know, leading the charge of what the genre is at the moment. And I know things come and go, but boy, is it annoying to just sort of watch it do its Trip H reign of terror.
What sucks is that Dorohedoro was up for Best Fantasy. So it's not like they completely snubbed it.
Right.
It was up for the award at the very least.
Like, they acknowledged the existence of other
Of,
things.
like, the better fantasy series, and then just went with fucking isekai. Ugh.
Now, before we roll further, I should ask for my own contextualization. Is this one of those committee panel kind of votes, or one of those mass fan kind of votes?
Panel of judges.
A panel of judges.
Oh, categories can be added or removed depending on fan popularity over the past years, as well as fan feedback.
Alright, so I'm gonna be that guy.
No, and then voted on by the community.
Okay, panel of judges and voted on by the community.
We could be Jim Cornette here.
In terms of what got past the fucking panel of judges, they put the second shittiest Crunchyroll original, Tower of God, in the top fantasy franchises.
If I have to hand anything to Tower of God, it's that it definitely feels like its own thing. It's just that its own thing is not too particularly interesting.
I guess that's an angle. I guess enough things might be chopped and screwed into that stew to at least not literally be fucking...
It just fucking astounds me how, like, I will look at people who stand for Tower of God and talk about their favorite moments in Tower of God, and their favorite moments in Tower of God are some character shilling for another character.
Jeez.
It's fucking astounding. Like, what has been done to these people.
Is their favorite part of an NBA game just some guy sitting on a stool? He's on the team's top 3, but he's just talking about how great MJ used to be and how he's an inspiration.
I don't know, I feel like my favorite moment of an NBA game would be, you know, like, when, you know, the camera, you know, pans across and there's Jack Nicholson. Oh, okay.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a... Alright, hit me with the next category.
Alright, best couple.
What?
Yeah, you don't care.
Fuck
I know.
me. What?
I know you don't care. Alright, so the entries were Legoshi and Haru from Beastars, Kuroko Iwanaga and Kuro Sakuragawa from Inspector. I remember Inspector. We got Kaguya and Shirogane from Kaguya-sama Love is War. Chizuru Mizuhara and Kazuya Kinoshita from Rent-a-Girlfriend. Katarina Claes and Maria Campbell from My Next Life is a Villainess. And the winners, Nasa Yuzaki and Tsukasa Yuzaki from Tonikawa Over the Moon for You. I watched some of Over the Moon for You on my own. It is inoffensive.
Inoffensive. So that means this award show is already looking up.
It is a decent, you know, kind of rom-com about just a couple who it's less about their relationship and more about them navigating the ins and outs of, you know, just being a married couple in modern Japan, like navigating that world. It's kind of neat.
Okay,
like, and they were perfectly cute.
There could be something there.
Who cares though? Because no, Kaguya and Shirogane are the most interesting couple that I have seen in an anime in a decade and continue to be.
I'm going to...
And this is even after Rent-a-Girlfriend blew my expectations the fuck out of the water and became one of my favorite anime of the year.
That was a fucking surprise. I'm going to move sideways on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I did not feel a rage from my stomach or base at their selections. Why this is a category in an award show that you ask me to use my human time watching. Listen. I know this is the meanest thing I say as a critic.
Mm-hmm.
but we have a limited amount of time alive before we die. So every now and then consider, do you want someone to use a little bit of that time on the information you are putting on the fucking screen? Because I'm not so sure for the best couple nomination. And I don't know, maybe I understand how it happens. Like, it's not even a particularly an anime-focused thing. It's just that whole, I don't know, parasocial kind of shipping culture, but it's still a waste of my fucking time. Like, I'm not gonna say, like, you know, weebs suck or studios suck, but as a species, nation, slice of culture, whatever fucking greater unit, inspect yourselves.
I'm a part ways with you on this one, Chief. I'm here for it.
You're here for it. Well, I have continuously represented the great darkness.
I'm here for it just a little bit. Okay, best score. And this was a year.
Wait, is this where Sawano tears his?
This was a year where Sawano was not even in the running because I don't think that's. Oh, he's not even on season 4. There was no Sawano show this year, near as I could tell.
Oh, so it's one of those years where like Okada walks around with balloons or something.
Exactly, or like John Williams isn't doing anything.
All right, well, I don't know. I'm excited for this one.
Okay, well, actually, these days it's been Michael Giacchino. It's a year that Michael Giacchino is not doing anything. Okay, so we have Yutaka Yamada for The Great Pretender, Satoru Kosaki for Beastars, Urutaichi for Keep Your Hands Off Aizaken, Kensuke Yoshido for Japan Sinks 2020. Did not watch that one.
We need to do that.
Should. It's Masaki Yuasa, man. Elisa Okahazama for The God of High School, and the winner, Kevin Penkin for Tower of God. Tower of God had fine music, as I remember. It was definitely not a point against the series.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt in that I was kind of glazed over by a lot of other stuff, so I might not have noticed a particularly strong
if
score.
the music was really good, I was more just angry at how, like, sneakily generic this show was.
I will say that even just judging by the Crunchyroll original favoring panel of judges' selections, it seems to have been a strong Sonic year for anime.
I'm going to say that Yutaka Yamada deserved it for Great Pretender. I fucking love the frenetic little jazz score going on in that show. I think it was a beautiful accompaniment to the sort of...
It had one of my favorite ED music selections.
Oh, okay. Well, that was just Freddie Mercury.
Oh, yeah.
But, no, it was great. And that entire ending sequence was fantastic as well. I love the opening sequence too, the whole like Sid Bass thing that they're doing. Honestly, in the last couple of years, people fucking love Sid Bass, and I will see shit that's Sid Bass inspired fucking everywhere. Which, honestly, yeah, he deserves the love. He was awesome.
There's no stopping an idea whose time has come. That's the expression, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I feel like that was something that Talleyrand said.
Oh man. I love that man. He is the star of Revolutions for me. He is such a time.
I think the worst thing that ever happened to him was that he fell out of relevance later on in life. Okay, if that's the worst thing that ever happens to me,
he should have fell out of relevance earlier because he should have cashed his chips out earlier. You lunatic.
What a fucking star. All right. Keep Your Hands Off Aizaken. I do remember that having real good music. That was also pre-pandemic 2020, so I don't really remember a whole lot about that part of the year.
I remember Keep Your Hands Off Aizaken.
I remember it being fantastic.
As literally just the last good thing to happen before the coronavirus. Like, in my memory, that's like... You know how you think of like the fucking Backstreet Boys before 9/11? They weren't good, but like just a thing that happened.
A thing that happened.
As a weeb, I just think of... In my brain, it's Aizaken coronavirus.
For me, it was Cats Aizaken coronavirus. Because here's the thing that happened. We went and saw Cats, and then literally the next day, the whole thing with Iran happens.
Right.
And we were teetering on maybe that we get involved in, a second, 2003 or worse. That'd suck. But okay, then that didn't happen. But something even worse then happened.
Yeah. I guess we're lucky that isolationism won the day in the room at that moment.
Okay, best comedy.
All right, hit me with them nominees and winners.
Okay. The nominees are The Misfit of the Demon King Academy.
Eat my ass.
Eat my fucking asshole. The
Jesus
entire
Christ.
fucking thing. Really get in there. Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. My Next Life as a Villainist. All Routes Lead to Doom. Oh my god, these fucking isekai titles are so fucking obtuse I can barely fucking say them anymore. Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. Interesting that they count that as a comedy. Okay. Kakushi Goto, My Dad's Secret Ambition. And the winner, Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2. I'm conflicted about this because no fucking show made me laugh harder than Kaguya-sama on this list. But I feel like Kakushi Goto never really got the recognition that it deserved this year.
I tend to be a... when it comes to awards, I tend to keep an absolute value kind of mindset. Like, things can definitely be underboosted or overboosted, but I don't think that an award show's job is necessarily to prop up an underdog, if that makes sense.
Not its job, no.
I think Kakushi Goto may have been doing something a bit more unique in terms of writing about writing that didn't make my eyeballs bleed.
Yeah, that was the other thing, because like usually this stuff sucks the life out of Dennard.
But Kaguya-sama is also a rom-com that I straightforwardly enjoy and rank among the better things that happen, and I'm me, so that's also an achievement. I want to talk for a second, because of my personality disorder,
Okay.
about all the dooms on this list. Like,
How much doom is there on this?
Misfit of Demon King Academy, My Next Life as a Villainess.
Mm-hmm.
Evil Con Carne came out like 10 years ago, right? Like, this isn't like this brilliant new idea you've had of an arch thing from a typical villain's perspective. Like, I remember playing fucking Overlord.
That's one point. My point. That the Misfit of the Demon King Academy is on this list. If you are a person, if you're the person who loved that show and wanted it to win, you are enough of a boring asshole that the My Balls or Ow My Balls show from Idiocracy would just, be something that you talked about with your friends at the water cooler. You would really get into, like the deep nuances of that show. You'd probably have a favorite ship. Literally, there could be just a monkey with symbols on TV 24/7, and you'd watch that. So, given that literally anyone could do anything, and it would make you laugh, and you would more. I don't really feel like you need your favorite show to win anything. The way that someone like me might, that it might get some sort of recognition, that it didn't get in more popular circles. So, because life is so simple for you, I ask you to be a little bit more gracious.
I don't wish that person any ill, because that is alien life to me. And alien life, first contact needs to be understood, communicated with. Can there be peace between our people? As your fascinating alien culture, born without the parts of the brain that produce and process humor, what has that done to your values? Can we learn from you?
Are there lessons? At the end of the day, I do think that Kaguya-sama deserved to win, though. I was laughing literally front to back every single episode, and this is the season that produced the show host segment and the underwear segment.
It's honestly the show that it has some of the best jokes in the division and does less of the thing I hate of repeating the punchline, and I know. I know
that whole thing.
So much of Japanese comedy is rooted in manzai tradition, where the joke is more the person's reaction than the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Translated to the comics and animation formats without explicitly being a fucking manzai couplet, it still fucking sucks.
It still fucking sucks, yes. You need to have a reaction to the thing that happens that's more than just saying what happened and how and why it was ridiculous. And thankfully, Kaguya-sama understands that.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, the underwear bit was the hardest I had laughed at an anime since Prison School. Easy. Even harder than the first season. I do not think that I ever quite got to that level of about to suffocate in the first season, and I absolutely did get there in the second season.
I wonder... I think the 3 times I've laughed hardest in my fucking life are the makeover gag from Clone High,
Yeah.
the Sonata from Prison School.
Yep.
And this might be an IQ revealer here, by the way, but fucking sort of tonal contrast jokes will always get me a little.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there are more character-driven jokes in Kaguya, and this might actually be more of a manga thing. I forget how much attention's got in the anime. But the Ramen Emperors... What are you doing?
Oh, the Ramen Emperors was a good one. The, there was just so much going on in the underwear sketch, right? Between him sort of instinctually sketching out his favorite pair of underwear without even fucking thinking about it, to Kaguya fantasizing over what she would do if she saw Shiragane's underwear and how ultimately inconsequential a victory it would be. And it is sort of, you know, her surrendering to her baser instincts that she likes to pretend are not actually present. From a humor standpoint, from a character standpoint, from the purest distillation of Kaguya-sama's formula, that fucking sketch, for me, was one of the most perfect things about that entire show. And that was, I'm pretty sure, the same episode as the show host sketch, which, again, fucking gut-busting. And if you like that one better than the underwear one, then that's a completely defensible position right there.
I would understand. God, the fucking glitter.
Okay, best drama.
Alright, this might be a curveball.
Alright, so, Somali in the Forest Spirit. Sing Yesterday for Me, Japan Sings 2020, Great Pretender, Beastars, and the winner, Fruits Basket Season 2. I watched 2 of these shows. 3. I watched three of these shows. I watched some of Sing Yesterday for Me.
This may be showing a bit of inherent bias in Weeaboo Hell, though I would like to point out we did watch drama film, but as an anime film, I'm not like randomly throwing my 3D viewing habits to defend my Weeaboo ones. I will say I am kind of disappointed. I don't know, maybe I'm being a hypocrite here, because I said that thing in the comedy category about it's not really the job to uplift the underdog, but Fruits Basket is some Gratitude era shit to be winning this category. Like,
and the winner of the Royal Rumble Edge.
Like, I'm familiar with this.
I'm only familiar with Fruits Basket. The one thing is that I never read it. I never watched the first show where they all had really fucking weird eyes. Maybe it's that people are just very, very grateful that they no longer have really fucking weird eyes in this one. That could very well be it. For my money, I would say Great Pretender. That's my pick for this. Having seen Beastar's Great Pretender and Sing Yesterday for Me. Although, actually, no. As a drama, I think that I liked what Sing Yesterday for Me was doing a little bit better. Because I would call Great Pretender more of an adventure series.
I think that would be accurate. Like, it has good dramatic wheels within it, but it's sort of focused on this heist Mailu.
And maybe Japan Sings 2020 is the best one of these, in fact, because Misaki Uwasa. I just have not watched it yet.
We give you all so much of our time. Please forgive us.
I just never got a chance. I watched one Uwasa show last year.
Forgive us the 4 important shows we don't see every year.
But no, I liked Sing Yesterday for it. It was just about unhappy people. Okay, best fight scene. Alright, interesting.
I'm gonna learn something about people's values today. Maybe they align with mine. Maybe I just glare at all of you passive-aggressively like an ex-girlfriend at a party. Let's find out.
Okay, so we got Satoru Gojo versus Ryomen Sakuna from Jujutsu Kaisen. Jin Mori versus Jagultek from God of High School. Jinmori versus Handai Wee, God of High School.
My fucking god.
My fucking dude. Brawler versus Master from Akudama Drive. Did not watch Akudama Drive. Berkuli versus Dark God Vector from Sword Art. The latest Sword Art Online. And Deku versus Overhaul, the winner from My Hero Academia. All right, so the serious two contenders are Deku versus Overhaul and Jinmori versus Handai Wee here. Let's break down.
So this is actually a values question.
It is, yeah.
Because ultimately, the Deku versus Overhaul thing has the best dramatic framing.
Yes.
And it, is a character through action story. And as a secondary thing, Overhaul still has my favorite superpower thrown into something lately.
They also did the whole fucking Gurren Lagann thing where they saved most of the budget for that season for that fight.
Yeah, that thing is Sakuga edition.
like, holy shit, guys. What a fucking gamble that was.
Now, Jinmori versus Han is just a guy who has, one of those cyberpunk eye injector information feeds of fucking kung fu flicks from the last 20 years hooked up to his brain.
Oh, that just more felt to me like if you go to, various places like in Venice, right? You could go to like a glass blowing studio and you can watch, this 87-year-old glass blower who's been doing this for about 80% or so of his life. Just work with the fucking tools and shape, just this random piece of sand basically into this beautiful, glass vessel or whatever that, all these brilliant colors that you've never even fucking seen before. Just watching that master at work. That's what the Jinmori versus Handai Wee fight felt like.
I think that's a good argument. Now, between the two of them, I appreciate both of these. I would give it to the... I know the plot of the whole show gets wobbly. We're judging a fight scene, so fight me. I would give it to the Jin Han thing just because it is the less floaty of the two, blocking-wise, geographically. It's more conscious of weight.
Yeah, okay.
And I think that's... It's not a lost art in anime, but I live in fucking fear that it is just becoming a minority.
Oh, just the oversaturation of ting 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 ting.
Exactly.
Yes.
And Deku versus Overhaul isn't guilty of that. This
has more of it.
This has more of that type of meat to it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe in an era where everything else has this problem, this is getting that punk rock bonus for me.
Sure. I think the other thing is that as really fucking awesome as it is to watch the Deku versus Overhaul fight, and it was. It honest to God was. I was having such a fun time. As a fight, it does feel more like a victory lap than an actual story being told the way that the Jinmori versus Handai Wee fight did, because I wasn't really certain who was going to win that fight. I was absolutely 110% certain that Deku was coming out of that one with the strap.
That is true. That was his U.S. Championship coronation, I think.
So, it's not like I'm even upset that Deku v Overhaul won this one. But I do kind of wish that God of High School got a little bit more recognition, just in general, this from this show, because you're going to see it get snubbed again and again.
I think that what probably closes the gap a bit is that anime fans, and I'm not going to say something dicky here, but I think that anime fans have a sort of maybe conditioned greater appreciation for the bleeding arm, shouting Kia, meteor approaching the earth kind of moment.
Okay, sure.
And there are all kinds of terrible and great executions of that.
There's also the
and
thing...
this is sort of a good one.
There's also thought to consider the long-term storytelling kind of aspect of Deku v Overhaul versus Jinmori and Handai Wee. I mean, one, you're watching this step on Deku's journey, this very, very long journey that somehow just has involved so little filler, and it makes me so happy to this day. Versus, I want to say that this was 6 or 7 episodes into God of High School, which was a 12-episode season.
I think this was 3 episodes in.
No, it was getting towards the second half.
Yeah. I'm screwing it up. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but So maybe there's that to consider, where people had more time to get invested and put a little bit more stock in that long-term storytelling than in the really, I thought, pretty efficient booking, I guess, of Jinmori versus Handai Wee, given the amount of time that they have to get us invested in both of these characters up to now.
I guess the weird thing, and it makes like isolated categories like this kind of hard. Mm-hmm. The upper bound of our appreciation of something of it is sort of limited by the stuff around it.
Yeah.
And Tower of God might legitimately have a fantastic soundtrack, and I just don't appreciate any of the other shit happening.
Yeah.
And so there is a way that everything around a thing can color it. And My Hero Academia, I don't know, it has, I guess why it got the popular win is that it has maybe more going on around the fight scenes.
Sure, okay.
Whereas I would just flat out say I think God of High School would get my win.
Okay,
for us, but
absolutely.
That's my rambling thought there.
Sure. All right, on to Best Character Design. The entries are Yoshiyuki Sadamoto and Hirotaka Kato for The Great Pretender. Rubiko Takahashi. Holy shit. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that one. Rubiko Takahashi and Yoshihiro Hishinuma for Yashahime, Princess Half Demon.
Oh, the Inuyasha sequel thing,
right?
The
Inuyasha sequel thing, yeah. It's amazing that people are talking about character design. There's so much other shit going on.
Why couldn't it get Best Couple? I'm going to contextualize this one for those of you.
Wait, hold on, let me go through all the nominees. Okay, Naoyuki Asano, original designs by Sumoto Uwara for Keep Your Hands Off Aizaken, which is a manga adaptation. Masashi Kudo and Miho Tanino, original designs by SIU for Tower of God.
Okay, even if you like Tower of God, really?
They weren't that great. Janice Chan and Yusuke Yoshigaki for BNA, Brand New Animal. And And the winner, Mayuka Ito, original designs by Ira Aida for Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I did not watch this show.
God damn it. I keep on...
I missed this one entirely. This was when I was going through these results. This was the first time I'd actually heard
I was
of
so
this
excited for this category when you're listing all the other nominees because it was thing I knew,
thing
I was familiar,
fuck. God damn. All right, well, maybe it deserved it. I don't actually know what those character designs looked like. My vote's for fucking Aizaken. They just those character designs, and there's literally just like those three characters, right? But they packed so much fucking personality into such simple fucking shapes.
I might be with you. Let's run through these one by one, actually. Okay. Let me gather my feelings.
All right, so Great Pretender.
Great Pretender.
Really good.
Really good. The personalities are coming through.
They do not do the, thing where they all just have different haircuts. Everyone looks very much like their own character, right? I remember... Yeah. I mean, just like... Okay, so if you haven't even seen all of Great Pretender, I've seen about half of it at this point. Because it's arc-based, right? You can just go by the arc, right? So let's go talk about the first arc, because I imagine that's the one that everyone who's watched any of this show has seen, right?
And, spoilers and all that.
And spoilers, right? No, it's
just... so, the drug arc, okay.
So you've got, the main three, you've got that film producer, you've got his bodyguard who, kind of wants out a little bit because he's got a kid, you have that kid, you have, the cop who's chasing them, you have, like, the FBI agent who's chasing all of them.
Yeah.
Right? But, like, I don't necessarily remember their names, but, like, I always will remember, what they looked like and the personality that these designs conveyed.
Oh, yeah, like, the second you see, like, an Abby or the main guy, it's very efficient character design, and it just does a really good job of giving the show its own look and personality. So I'm gonna definitely respect that as a nomination.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Abigail Smith's character design, in that it seemed to almost be an intentional evocation of Revy from Black Lagoon. I don't know this for certain, but this is my little tinfoil hat theory.
As a Black Lagoon friend, I definitely appreciate it. So another one that I thought was good and honestly better than maybe other elements of the show is, Brand New Animal.
Yeah.
Trigger is Trigger.
Trigger is Trigger. They do this thing good, guys.
Good character designs. About 7 episodes in, I was saying this is a little stupid. Yeah.
B&A just as a series, I just every single episode, I was just wondering, what are you going for here, guys? And I never got an answer to that question, unfortunately.
I mean, you got several answers.
I got quite a few, often contradictory. Like, here's the thing. I will put it above a whole bunch of shit this year because at the very least, it made me ask questions while I was...
I mean, it's frenetic, and I really enjoyed the fucking baseball episode.
Oh, that was fun, yeah.
My problem with it, not a huge problem, and not a show ruiner. It's a good ride overall, which is better than their previous offering. So good job, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
but
they just needed it to be better than Darling in the Franxx.
It did that fucking thing where this isn't quite at cliche level, but it's like one of those things where I sort of will squint a little, where it's like I am the ancient god version of your species or faction. But it ends with him fighting a glowing three-headed wolf version of himself.
So they went kind of all fucking JRPG with it.
Yeah, it's sort of the JRPG thing, and I'm
just
there like
just to set the record straight. Not a fan of when JRPGs do that. Not a big fan of the whole, it's sort of treated as this kind of joke, like this in-joke among the fandom where you start out fighting some random slime, right outside your hometown, and it's a bunch of kids, then it ends with killing God or whatever. And after the 50th fucking time that they do this, there's really very little left to say about any of it.
But it's muddled because, like, three-headed glowing yellow wolf god man is like in this elite family that pretends to be human but are actually the ancient beasts that rule over both or whatever. You started out with this racial sexual
What
politics.
are you fucking doing, guys?
Listen,
what does any of this mean?
Unless there are three men in pink suits that secretly form the Illuminati,
or we should be talking about the character designs.
Okay, sorry.
BNA, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. I would say that BNA is a good bronze medalist. Because even stupid glowing three-headed wolf man looked good.
Yeah. Between Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin and Great Pretender, I would say, yeah, Isaacin wins this for me personally. Not having seen Totally Bound, Hanako-kun.
Where are the rest of the character design?
We've got Tower of God and Yashihime were the other two entries.
Tower of God is out. Yasuhime, okay, I've taken a look.
Rumiko Takahashi is a very good character designer.
They look fine. My issues are outside of character design.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the, I don't even know if I want to fucking get into this. We just spent the last couple of episodes it's really fucking getting our hands dirty when maybe the best thing to do would have been to not get our hands dirty, and I'm referring obliquely to Hewler right now.
Alright, let's move on to the next category.
Oh, before we get, this becomes the rest of the episode.
Yeah, I'm not qualified to save anyone. I can only send letter bombs, and that's wrong or something, everyone tells me.
They tell me it's illegal.
Alright, what do we got?
Alright, so next category, Best Animation. And the entries are The God of High School, Princess Connect, Redot. Oh, wow.
I'm about to yell some racial slurs.
Okay, let's just work our way the rest of the way through this list. Okay, Jujutsu Kaisen. It was well animated.
It is well animated.
Well animated.
I will not dispute the claim that it's well animated. It's just what it is animating is stupid, but I don't know. In theory, you can make a artisanally detailed, interesting angles, good cinematography, just anal porno, and you could still win this category. So, you know what? Fine.
Sure. All right, Great Pretender, Wit, fucking, batting a fucking 1,000, I'm pretty sure. Beastars.
I've seen...
There's stuff about Beastar. Ultimately, I was thumbs down on this show. Though I do recognize its virtues. I'll get into it later when we're talking about something other than animation. In terms of animation, I still find the fucking CGI thing really fucking distracting when it is the only thing that's being used.
Totally fair. It is a demon that this format is going to have to slay at some point.
And the winner for Best Animation, Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. Yes.
Hard to dispute. All right, let's talk silver medalists. That's the second best animated show.
The second best, oh man.
Is it Princess Reconnect? Because I don't fucking
think it is. How the fuck did that make it onto this list? Did it sneak in a fucking mask?
I swear to God. Panels in award shows are a mistake, but so are audience. Maybe award shows are a mistake. I don't fucking know.
I don't. Maybe they are. I don't know. We can definitely. They're definitely good for generating content. That's for goddamn certain. I was looking it up. 70% of the vote is by the judges, and then 30% is by the general public. So that a bunch of like morons can't get interspecies reviewers, to win Anime of the Year, but it's not like they're being completely David Hume about it. Although sometimes I wish they would be.
God. Princess Connect Redive. I saw that show. I saw the first 3 and theoretically most expensive episodes of the show. I saw the last bit of it too.
Are they trying to convince me? Are they trying to convince me that the tit jiggle physics on Princess Connect Redive are what should qualify it for best animation?
Nah, man, we grew up with Dead or Alive 4. We know what real jiggle physics look like.
Because that was the only bits of animation that I was fucking noticing. And in case it has been forgotten, it's been a while since I've mentioned it, I am Ace. I don't give a shit. It was just that fucking obvious that I could not help but notice it.
Technically, a still and moving breast have the same number of atoms, observes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Observes our best card here. I don't fucking understand. Alright, so
for me, it's between Great Pretender and God of High School.
Hold on. I'm thinking here. I think the I am so wary of this internal bias of, like, is it disqualified because it's stupid?
Because I didn't like it, yeah.
Because that was a really expensive-looking Volcano Man shooting generic fire energy in his battle zone.
Yeah, but it did look expensive.
I don't know, but direction is sort of a part of how you sort of take animation. And
no, that's got its own category.
Oh, this is okay, fine.
No, I think it's the God of High School.
Between the two,
remember that first fucking Battle Royale?
Remember the Street Fighter Inc.
No, which one?
Oh, Street Fighter 4 had this whole gimmick where in a lot of its cutscenes and promo material it had like that sort of watercolor look.
Sure, yeah.
And God of High School.
God of War High School did that sometimes. Yeah, I think for the fact that it's literally just a fucking tournament arc with weird webtoon shit thrown in, they did a whole bunch of interesting experimental shit in God of High School that I really appreciated, which I think would qualify it for the silver medal because nothing is fucking touching Isaacin. They're keeping their hands the fuck off.
That is quite true. Man, by the way, Great Pretender, still love the whole color spread.
It's such a fucking joy to watch that show. Just again, in terms of production design, its character designs, and of course its animation. I would say that a God of High School's animation impressed me a little bit more, although Great Pretenders was just always base level great.
All right, I'm gonna bring the intellectual question to its apex.
Sure.
Because you give a shit about what happened in Great Pretender, and you don't give a shit about what happened in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Or what am I rating?
But who gets the bronze there then?
I did not notice as many static ass scenes in Great Pretender as I did in Jujutsu Kaisen. And I recognize that static ass scenes are just a part of Sakuga. That's the shit that you don't spend money on so that you can spend money on the really cool shit. But there were more of them in Jujutsu Kaisen than there were in Great Pretender. In Great Pretender, it always seemed like stuff was moving in a realistic sort of way. Not in like a, not in a way in that they were trying to have everything be moving and it was exhausting or anything. No, just sort of in the way that things are always moving in the real world. And, in Jujutsu Kaisen, yeah, every now and again, you would just, and like even in Great Pretender, but I just think less. You would just have that scene where the dude is sitting there with some mouth flaps, and like it's not an unforgivable sin. Like
it's not unforgivable
every
sin,
fucking anime has
Olympics,
done this because you have the money that you have and you have to spend it the way that you do. I just found that Jujutsu Kaisen did it more, and that is what gives it the bronze medal in my head. And like,
you mean Great Pretender? Yeah, Great Pretender gets a bronze.
Yeah.
Next up on the docket.
Best Director. Ooh.
Eyebrows up.
All right. Yuzuru Tachikawa for Decadence. Takashi Sano for Tower of God. Sung-Hoo Park for Jujutsu Kaisen. Mamoru Hatakayama for Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2. Hiro Kaburagi for Great Pretender. And the winner, Masaki Yuasa for Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. Yes.
Just can't stop winning.
That is correct.
Oh.
All right, so silver medal, because, yes, no, this was the right pick right here. There's
All right,
really...
silver medal. Let's run through our entries here again.
We got Great Pretender,
all right, so we had
Kaguya-sama,
Decadence.
Decadence.
This
is the first time Decadence is showing up at this show.
Decadence was it was a fun show. If we're talking about direction, the two styles thing is cool.
This is
maybe
one of the
not have
dudes who
me-
was on Mob Psycho 100, by the way. I'm pretty sure that he... Give me a second. Let me check real quick, because I'm pretty sure that this is the dude who directed Mob Psycho 100. Yes, he did. The second season of the
So he's good. Both shows are not going for them. I might say the same thing on both of them, that for shows that truck and action scenes as heavily as they do, his eye for action isn't quite perfect yet, maybe.
Maybe.
Or I don't know, maybe I just don't feel...
I'm not sure enough of that to say yes.
It just doesn't feel like something I come to either property really for.
I guess so. I mean, I'm also just thinking about the way that Decadence was put together. For my money, and spoilers, of course, for Decadence, right? Let's talk about the moment that kind of everything was riding on, which was that big reveal at the end of the first episode, right? And how that was directed. I was more confused than anything else. It was less of a big oh shit moment than it was me being like, wait, this feels out of place. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm a smart getting worked right now, and that's what they were going for. But it kind of dulled the impact for me just a little bit of the gravity of this twist, and that none of this shit is real. All of this shit is, kind of part of this whole scheme, I guess, by, a bunch of cyborgs who live in space and more or less live vicariously through the last, real humans on Earth because they've got nothing better to do. Honestly, as a concept, Decadence was a really interesting send-up of, the isekai formula, right? In terms of the way it was directed, I definitely thought that it was effectively directed, certainly. But here's the fucking thing. The fucking thing is that Kaguya-sama is on this list of nominees.
Oh, man. Look at this man just holding up the shoujo belt.
And...
Shoujo scene belt.
No, so shoujo scene belt, yeah. And here's the thing. Yes, Masaki Yuasa wins every single fucking day, but it is fascinating how much of a country mile Kaguya-sama is, to me, at the very least, beyond the other four entries, the other four entries that it beats out, before it ultimately falls to Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin.
In direction, I don't think Great Pretender is actually that far behind Kaguya-sama. Maybe some script level things, but I wouldn't say direction.
Maybe. I just found myself so fucking enthralled with how they put together all the various gags and vignettes on that show, and just the fascinating way in which they adapt the gags as they are laid out in the manga. And this might be some bias here because, Great Pretender does not have a manga, right? And I have not read Tower of God or Jujutsu Kaisen, or Decadence, I'm pretty sure, an anime original as well. But I have read Kaguya-sama. I do know how, he writes that manga, and then how this manga was adapted and what they do in order to make the jokes work. Given that, I feel like I was completely caught up with Kaguya-sama when the second season aired, so it's not like there was any surprises for me, either. I found myself amazingly impressed with just how they used the fact that this was all animated to their advantage, in Kaguya-sama, doing really weird kind of screwy things with the animation, in order to get across, the joke that was being told in the manga, which you cannot tell the same way when this is an anime. It just does not work like that. It's a different beast now.
All right, so I am going to go to the steamiest of hot take farms. And I think for me personally, Great Pretender is playing a way more straight-laced presentation game.
Yes.
But I think that what it achieves solely on the front of directing, I mean, I would give the sort of Love is War scripted over it, but solely on the front of directing and application of its resources to create this mood and convey this kind of Lupin Panther
Panthers 11, yeah.
tone. I think it's a very strong directorial feat.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I'm definitely not arguing that it's not.
I think it's a higher wire act in a way.
Sure, yeah. Okay. Fucking Jujutsu Kaisen got a nomination. And here's the thing. The thing that I was noticing is that for all of its faults, it was very well directed. Sung-Hoo Park is real good. As I was saying, like, before, he's gonna be a fucking star someday. Though maybe he is already, just not for the right reasons.
Just fanning himself with fucking Kaisen money.
But yeah, no, he did a fantastic job taking Jujutsu Kaisen and making me not hate it. Because I certainly didn't hate it. It was just, I think as I said in an earlier episode, it was a love letter to a genre that I already fucking hate. So it was just a very well done thing that I would never had any chance of liking.
Who's the best crunk core artist?
Best
VA performance.
VA performance in English. All right, so we'll get started. Jonas Scott as Legoshi from Beastars. Johnny Young Bosch as Bam from Tower of God. Crispin Freeman as Zeusudra from Fate Grand Order Absolute Demonic from Babylonia.
Oh, look at that semicolon. Slash mark title semicolon. Oh shit, those are two semicolon bitches. No, I'm sorry. That's slash dash mark semicolon.
Slash dash mark and then
I'm
semicolon.
sorry for misrepresenting the Fate Stay franchise in that moment, everyone.
I'm never, ever going to watch any of those shows ever again. Aneris Quinonius as Echidna from ReZero Season 2. Aaron Phillips as Laurent Thierry from Great Pretender. And the winner, Zeno Robinson as Hawks from My Hero Academia. I didn't watch any of these dubs. I don't really watch dubs anymore.
All right, our
like
opinion,
not a single one of these.
Our opinion on these has unfortunately been overdubbed. I did hear 2 episodes of Laurent. He's good.
He seemed.
That is not a.
Seems like he'd be good. Crispin Freeman, always a fucking joy to listen to. He was Red Arrow on Young Justice.
Great.
Zena Robinson was Cyborg on Young Justice. So a couple guys from there. I mean, Johnny Young Bosch is always, he was Lelouch, if you saw that, or if you saw the dub to that. He's always fun.
Anyway, congratulations on getting your checks, guys. Congratulations on getting your nominations.
I'm sorry that I cannot really comment on any of these. Typically speaking, I'm watching the show as it airs, and very few dubs are simulcast. So that is just why. Every now and again, you will get the simulcast dub, but at the very least, it often tends to be a couple of weeks behind the Japanese release. And
it is worth pointing out, though, that we are not anti-dub on this program.
No, I'm absolutely not anti-dub. I just do not find that I watch them that much. If I hear that there is a really fucking good dub, then yeah, I will absolutely endeavor to go find it. Okay, best vocal performance in Japanese. This I can speak to. Okay, Yusuke Onoki as Daisuke Kanbei from Millionaire Detective.
I forgot that fucking happened. Jesus Christ, what a premise.
Oh, yeah, we're only judging the vocal performance. We're not judging...
Yep, marching ahead.
Yeah. Okay, Yuichi Nakamura as Satoru Goju from Jujutsu Kaisen. He's the blindfold Kakashi guy.
Yeah. Free free fan favorite bonus to the performance.
Yeah, the dime store Kakashi Sensei. Yeah. Riho Sugiyama is Minari
Wait,
Koda.
hold on. You said dime store? No, brick through window and grab Kakashi Sensei. Let's be clear. He jacked that shit.
Riho Sugiyama is Minari Koda from Wave, Listen to Me. That one flew under my radar, but it looked very interesting.
It kept on being so close to being the second show in a Weeaboo Hell episode, but other things just kept slipping in.
It just premise-wise, it seems pretty interesting to me, and it's about her voice, right? Because it's about her being, like a radio host. Yeah. Okay, Mutsume Tamura as Sayaka Kanamori from Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. Fantastic fucking performance.
Good ass
Kanamori was one of my favorite characters of this last year, and it is in no small part due to Mutsume Tamura's performance. Okay, Megumi Ogata as Hanako from Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. Again, missed that one. Cannot speak to it.
We'll trust you.
Okay, and the winner. Yusuke Kobayashi is Subaru Natsuki from Re:Zero Season 2.
You know what? Here's a defense I'll make for them. I've seen, smatterings of this show.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks. a voice actor, ideally, conveys character through their performance. That's, what in theory you're going for. And I heard that voice. And I did know I did not care about this character. And I would call that an absolute win.
For my part, Yusuke, he does, the job that he does, but the fact is that Kanamori came the fuck alive because of Tamura's performance. That fantastic kind of rasp that she sort of had, it really kind of made her what she is. It's really why Kanamori is such a unique character, is because there's both in terms of character design and vocal performance, right? The show was such a masterclass in texture and conveying character rather than sort of sticking to sort of what is known and accepted about character design in anime. I think Yuasa made this very conscious choice to not try and have his characters feel like cute or moe or anything like that in the way that, is sort of understood to be, kind of how
assembly line.
Yeah. No, he designed the characters really just so that you could understand everything that you needed to about them. And the fact, bonus points, is that not one single one of the three ever ends up feeling at all sexualized in any way, shape, or form, which is nice because they're all minors.
It's nice,
and this seems to happen. This is a rare enough occasion that I must, shout it out when it does happen. There's even a fucking scene when they go to the fucking when they go to a fucking onsen, right? And they splash around, and it's not treated at all as fan service or anything.
It's really a modern goddamn miracle.
It was, yeah.
And I mean that genuinely enough. I didn't say fucking miracle for laughs.
But I'm talking about vocal performances here, and I'm catching myself talking about just the show as a whole. Fuck. But in terms of her voice,
well, it can recognize
because
it from orbit.
Yeah, exactly. Because I am, a gaijin, right? I'm not going to be able to tell too many Japanese performances apart if I am closing my eyes. That is just my limitation as a guy who can understand a few phrases in Japanese at most, right? Just from a lifetime of watching it, but not speak it even close to conversationally. I could recognize Kanamori's voice with my eyes closed, listening to it at any time, and recognize it as Kanamori, and there was just something real fucking special about her performance. I don't know, man.
It's a hard-ass act to follow, but congratulations for everyone again. I know, I'm kind to actors, I guess. Keep going. Get the bag.
Alright, best ending sequence. Alright, so, welcome my...
Oh, here's your favorite category.
Ending sequence?
I mean, you always have something to say about EDs.
I do have a few things to say about EDs, yeah. Alright, so Welcome My Friend by Okamoto's The Millionaire Detective Balance Unlimited.
It was a track.
It was a track. Truth be told, it's been so long. That was a pre-pandemic show.
It was a pre-pandemic show.
I don't remember.
It was the same kind of James Bondified, like...
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
The Great Pretender by Freddie Mercury from Great Pretender. Everyone fucking remembers this one. It was the fucking singing cats. It fucking kicked ass. It is how I got my partner to like this show. Night Running by Shin Sakura, featuring Amy from Brand New Animal. You watched more of Brand New Animal than I did.
Oh, yeah, I watched the whole thing. It was fun. I wouldn't put it ahead of the singing cats, but again, Trigger has a lot of style, and this is part of that package.
Last Dance by Mamoru Miyano from Inspector. Watched Inspector. Don't really remember that ED too well. That could have just been because I was like, okay, let's watch the next episode.
So right now, we think we're talking about Id Invaded, which we covered on the show. And Inspector is a totally different show. So this next bit is about Id Invaded, functionally. Sorry about that.
Which, points in Inspector's favor, because I did find it, although often kind of silly and like, okay, so this is magic then. It was a fun mystery. But also it felt like less sci-fi and more magic.
Great.
And they left behind mental particles or something. I don't know. This gun says they're still there. We need to activate the device.
Thank you, Magic Gun.
The device. Okay, DDDD by No Name from Dorohedoro. We're going to talk about Dorohedoro, and I've got some very unpopular opinions about Dorohedoro.
You have unpopular opinions, like get us flayed and burned kind of unpopular opinions, or...
We're going to talk about Dorohedoro later.
Later?
Probably. Yeah, we're going to talk about it in the... in a later category.
Alright, everyone, so we're gonna hold that as a point of dramatic tension.
Okay, and Best Ending Sequence winner, Lost in Paradise by Ali, featuring Akalo from Jujutsu Kaisen. This is a defensible choice.
Yeah.
I liked the Great Pretender better, but Lost in Paradise was a fantastic ED. It was so fucking fun. It was fun.
It had it's a very strong version of that post Bleach style, I guess you would call
exactly.
it.
Like it's I really enjoy series, or I really enjoy when series have a particular aesthetic or culture.
Oh, personality is such an important thing in, like, so many things feel the same at this point that
when you have that sort of when you have that kind of thing that your show is a fan of, it can do a lot for that show. So the sort of like Gen Z TikTok rapper aesthetic that Jujutsu Kaisen has. As an aesthetic, it works. It works real well for this show. Mm-hmm. And while I have the things to say about Jujutsu Kaisen as a whole that I do, in terms of its look, in terms of the personality that it gave the show, really fucking great idea to sort of do that. Yeah.
The best term I can think of it is a fingerprint.
Yes. Also, the fun kind of Sid Bass thing, we were just talking about him earlier, that Great Pretender did. Really fantastic fucking choice. I mean, it's not the first thing that is chosen to go for a Sid Bass aesthetic, because, he's one of the most popular pop artists of the 20th century, contributed to the look of, spy fiction and everything involving cloak and dagger nonsense that we, know of and love today.
It's just Sid Bass and the Man Who Was Thursday, sort of rocking on old wooden chairs. I remember back in my day.
It definitely had that going for it, right? That was the personality that it chose as well. Millionaire Detective was kind of going for like a James Bondy kind of thing, and I'm remembering the ED was like good, and it had that entire
it's defensible. I think it's maybe just not the peanuts I would put on my airline.
Not really.
But yeah, good day in EDs. Honestly, openings and endings have come a long way.
Oh yeah, I was watching fucking Colors by Flow, right? Which you may remember as the first OP to Code Geass.
Right.
From like 2006, 2007 or so. And it is fascinating how far we've come, given that I thought that OP kicked so much ass when, Code Geass was airing.
I remember these used to be either identical or low effort enough that a video that just got a bajillion views was every anime opening ever. Just intercutting similar shots from popular shows' OPs. And I think that would be a harder video to make today outside of the isekai genre. I will stop kicking you people in the ribs when you are dead.
It's just fucking fascinating because, Colors by Flow, right? Widely considered to be one of the more iconic OPs of that decade. If you look at it, it's a whole bunch of shots of, like, the Geass effect. Like, a bunch of that OP is just not static necessarily, but basically just like, okay, and here's the Geass effect. With, credits superimposed over it.
Hey, man, we broke the budget on that fucking eye, okay?
And then the rest of the OP, for the most part, is just a character appears. Another character appears in front of that character. Another character appears in front of that character. None of them are moving. That was what OPs used to be, and we thought that they were great. Although I do remember, at this point in time, there was... I cannot remember the name of the song, but the first OP to Death Note. Which was...
Oh, yeah, with the Maximum the Hormone song, right?
No, that's the second OP.
That's second, okay.
Very good OP as well, but the first OP to Death Note was, like, the one that got everyone fucking watching that show, and was also, like, I think just a cut above OPs. Oh, God, we're talking about OPs right now,
all right,
and we're on ED.
Give that an episode. Give that an episode. All right. Opening sequences. So transfer some of that chatter's value to this.
All right. Phoenix by Burnout Singing Drums. From Haikyuu to the top. Okay, so here's the thing.
Are you going to waste
Sports
those sports...
anime.
No. We're doing an episode, please. I like that joke.
Okay, fine.
Sam has thoughts about it. I enjoy hearing them. I think they deserve a little spotlight. There's a lot going on in this episode.
Okay. Kai Kai Kitan by Eve from Jujutsu Kaisen. It was a good OP. Mm-hmm. GP, composed by Yutaka Yamada from Great Pretender.
Didn't know it was named that after the show.
Yeah, it was just, it was an instrumental track. Easy Breezy by Chel Miko. Hell yeah! From Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. Okay, we're just gonna go to the end of this list. Daddy Daddy Do featuring Ai Suzuki by Masayuki Suzuki. No relation. Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2. And the winner, Wild Side by Ali from Beastars. Yeah, okay, fine. Just
I have a lot of Easy Breezy in my brain.
It was so good, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was limited, certainly. Like, they were limited in what they actually did in that OP, but as far as what they accomplished, Easy Breezy was the fucking catchiest fucking OP of last year, and there's no fucking question. It's even catchier than fucking Daddy Daddy Do.
It's a genuine...
Like, that's what it's up against.
It's a genuine earworm without resorting to a set of pop music tricks I like to call Dr. Luke's clipboard. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Luke is an American pop producer behind like a quarter of the fucking pop tracks in America and also a repeated sex pest. God damn it.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
You do actually hate to see it.
Yeah, one does, in fact...
I'm being 100% serious.
Despise to fucking see it.
Alright, Kakai Kitan was a very good OP, but it felt like a very standard good OP. Like, this, it was doing the thing well, but it did not do anything that particularly
It does not compare well to its ED.
No, I think the ED of that show is definitely better, and I think it definitely deserved to win. I think Kakai Kitan, again, it was good. It was, dynamic. It had this fun thing where it was very... It had great fidelity to Tokyo and Tokyo's geography and just places in Tokyo. That was kind of interesting, just, given, the idea of Tokyo sort of being a character in this series.
Yeah.
The way that it is. I think it was a very competently done OP for that series. It never wowed me in the way that a whole lot of people found themselves wowed by it. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good OP. I did not find it to be low effort or cloying or anything like that.
Keep going. I'm just making know something.
Okay. GP. We were just talking about Sid Bass.
Yeah.
And then Daddy Daddy Do is such a perfect goddamn opening too. Like I'm upset that this had to share a year with Wild Side because it would have won in any other fucking year.
I mean, Beastars did the thing they always tell us to do in advertising of just putting your best bullet first.
And they certainly fucking did, and that OP, even though, again, I was ultimately thumbs down on Beastars, no, that OP was goddamn perfect, one of the best in years.
That is correct. All right, so next category, I just saw the title. I didn't see the winner. I saw the title. I'm irritated. I'm a very easily irritated man. But Sam, walk us through the...
Best girl.
I hope you people get herpes. I hope you people become sexually successful and then get herpes.
Okay, so... Sayaka Kanamori from Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. Fucking love that she's even here, guys.
Ahead of all the sort of jiggle wizards we're gonna get, I'm sure. I'm glad she's here, I guess.
Oddly enough, none of these are tit jiggle wizards. Noi from Dorohedoro. She was like the really fucking tall one.
Okay.
Chizuru Mizuhara from Rent a Girlfriend.
A dark horse, but
I think she deserves to be on this list. Yeah, she was a great fucking character. Katarina Claes from My Next Life is a Villainous. All routes lead to doom. That was I had like only grudging respect for that one. I mean, like I had it, and the character was okay. I get.
Abigail Jones, Great Pretender. So does best girl mean like best weird relationship bait or just best female character? Because like she goes places.
It's an odd question. I think you would get different answers if you asked different people.
Because like I don't know if she's super strong on the fucking weird waifu vector most of these are being evaluated on.
I love the running gag of her flipping people off in interesting ways. Or just it's just like the way that the series is directed when she flips people off, like it'll always be from like her hand will enter frame in a fun way.
Yeah, I like her confrontation with spoilers. I like her confrontation with Red Baron Man. It was an interesting time.
All right, and the winner, Kaguya Shinomiya, Kaguya-sama Loves War Season 2.
Oh, you have to
defending.
All right, Seb beat me to the joke. I was going to say, you know, it's really weird seeing like a 14-year-old Japanese girl come out, take a bottle of water, and spit it into the air for holding
the title over her fucking head and then fucking crippling someone with a sledgehammer. I have no arguments against this. Fatsumita! It's all about the game and how you play it.
Oh man, Abby cuts like 3 weeks of promos about how she grew up loving this business and this is her dream.
And then fucking Randy Orton fucking gets her on the fucking apron.
Or people like, I don't know, they need a transitional champion. Maybe they'll put on a Katarina for him. Nope. Apron Orton. So ironically, I am still actually unclear on whether the best girl fucking category here means waifu bait or character, but it's an acceptable win for either.
It's an acceptable win for both, right? No, so that's a fine thing. But like, I absolutely think that Kaguya Shinomiya is the best female character of these 6 entries. Honestly, and it's not even fucking close. I would say of course Kanamori comes the closest. In terms of just what you get out of that character from what you were given from that character. I would say
that Kanamori, the thing about Abby is fine character, good at what she does in that story, but it's not necessarily the world's, outside of gender, it's not necessarily the world's freshest archetype.
Oh, for Abigail?
Yeah.
No, she felt like a student of Revy.
Yeah. Down to trauma levels.
Yeah, like you turn the trauma levels down just a little bit, you add like a little bit of interesting kind of political commentary because she's from Iraq.
Yeah.
You know, the those sort of things. So ultimately, I almost don't feel as though I'm being fair to the character by comparing her against Revy, because Revy is so singularly fascinating to me, and Abigail as fun as she is just not quite the character that Revy is.
It's also a hard comparison because Revy is in the Power 2, like, core characters of her thing, and Abigail, while important and gets time, is probably...
She's usually almost always, at most, the third most important character. Third or even fourth most important character of every arc, because the arc villain always ends up being more important than her, but not quite as important.
It's very much that James Bond thing where, she kind of gets the second carries villain.
She kind of is just always off on the side there. And so, again, it's not entirely fair to compare her to Revy in that regard.
Honestly, good work in terms of the slot and screen time. In terms of character.
Absolutely. Katarina... So I have to give credit where it was due. I did find her more compelling than most other isekai protagonists I've ever
just
seen.
bite your arm.
Yeah, just
Katarina is more tolerable than the average isekai protagonist.
Fine, fuck off. Chizuru Mizuhara from Rent a Girlfriend.
Just Dark Horse.
Yeah, Dark Horse. Thought it was gonna be a hate watch. Really fucking enjoyed it as just a character drama about, people who cannot find that they can be truthful in their lives with anyone other than one another. I like that because it actually reminded me of Prison School a whole lot.
Oh yeah. Like the Hana relationship.
With the two leads of Prison School and how their relationship is characterized by, for better or for worse, they understand one another as people because they do not and cannot lie to one another.
Behold my deviance. Naked and true.
I can't really speak too much to Dorohedoro because I had a kind of a brown note problem with Dorohedoro.
Oh right, this is the bullet you're saving.
This is, I guess, the bullet that we're saving. Okay, best boy.
Best boy. All right, I'm just gonna put it to character and just assume that you people are not quite as masturbatory as I assume.
Okay. Satoru Goju from Jujutsu Kaisen. That is
I like Kakashi too.
I thought Kakashi was a really great character. Legoshi from Beastars. Kun Aguero Agnes from Tower of... Cayman from Dorohedoro. Anois... are you fucking kidding me? Anois Voldigode from The Misfit of Demon King. How the fuck did this guy end up on the fucking list? Okay. And best boy, winner of best boy... Shoyo Hinata, the protagonist of Haikyuu.
I'm sorry. I'm actually going to revise what I said. It clearly is best husbando bait. So, you know what? Fuck it. Fine. Haikyuu can win by default.
Haikyuu can win.
Sure. 8-pack. Moving on with my life.
Wait, I thought he was the short kid.
Am I confusing Haikyuu for the swimming one? God damn it.
No, it's not the swimming one. It's the volleyball one.
It's the volleyball one. Okay.
Sports anime.
Save.
It's okay. Fine. I'll save it. I can't help myself.
All right. Then let's go back in the trench here.
Okay. All right. So, starting from Satoru Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen.
So in case you haven't caught my opinion, none too fresh.
Now, Legoshi from Beastars.
Actually, before we move on to the next one, I also want to say just his fucking power thing of the infinite collapsing into the non-ether of becomingdom is just the exact wavelength of shit I don't like in action things.
Yeah, I mean, just from two different directions, too.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's silly levels of OP, just to begin with, and then, because it was revealed so early on in the story, when it's inevitably outclassed by something else, the power creep then gets to the point where I don't care about what's happening anymore. So, bad move. Just a bad move. Just everything involving shonen action in Jujutsu Kaisen, which is fucking bad moves. Bad decisions made all over the place.
Where if he's involved in a fight, the only three outcomes are boring, ass pull, or power creep, and that's not a good place to be.
I don't like any of those three outcomes right there. I'd rather that the outcome be interesting, but it just never will be with him. Alright, Legoshi from Beastars. Do I pick now to talk about Beastars and why I did not like it?
Go for it.
It was actually up for Anime of the Year, so I think I will wait until then for my final thesis on Beastars. Kun Aguero Agnes from Tower of God. I'm sure that we met that character in the amount of that show that we watched. Tower of God was so fucking boring.
Kun, like the other moving parts of Tower of God, is immensely forgettable.
Was he like the big lizard guy?
I think he was the white hair. No, no, I don't care. Moving on.
No, who gives a shit? Yeah. Okay, Cayman from Dorohedoro. Again, I've got shit that I'm saving for that, but what I will not save for later is Enos Vuldegode from the Misfit of Demon King Academy. My fucking ass is he on this fucking list.
So what I'm about to do isn't a moral stand.
Asakusa
I want you to
from fucking Isaacin, who is a girl, deserves to be on this list more than he does.
What I'm about to say is not a moral stand, nor is it me saying I am stronger, faster, or better trained than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
If you legitimately think he is the best male character of anime of this year, meet me outside of the Dunkin' Donuts in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn at 12 p.m. on Wednesday, the first Wednesday of March, and we will settle this with our fists. That is all I will say about the Misfit of Demon King fucking Academy.
So, remember, of course you do, the Colbert Report, right? And how Stephen Colbert came up with the idea of truthiness, which is something that someone says that's not necessarily true, but feels true, because it's echoing, you know, a sentiment that makes sense to a lot of people, right? That is what truthiness is.
Yeah.
And while this is not actually Enos Vuldegode or Shadow the Hedgehog's real theme song, you know, there's that one thing that, like, you and James, I think, came up with at that one point. You know, the kiss my butt, I don't give a damn, go to heck if you don't understand.
I will actually take exclusive credit for that
That
one.
was you?
Yeah.
That was just you? Yeah, so I'm not sure what to say other than, like, when I can apply that song to a character, when I can apply that idea, that sort of set of feelings to a character, it's a really fucking bad sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As for Haikyuu,
It just feels like it's in such bad faith. Such a sports anime.
all I will say is I cannot go into our feelings about sports anime in an abridged manner. So just trust me when I say,
I don't find it that interesting.
Alright.
Best antagonist.
Best antagonist. This could be an interesting one.
Alright, Rachel from Tower of God. Overhaul from My Hero Academia. N from Dorohedoro. Echidna from ReZero Season 2. Akito Soma from Fruits Basket Season 2. And Ryomen Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen. The winner. Ryomen Sukuna. He's the edgy demon who's possessing the main character. He's that guy.
Ah, okay, so we're in the popularity contest bracket of the fucking
Right.
of the fucking awards show.
Okay,
So Sukuna is a ancient sealed evil that looks inside our protagonist. Looks like our protagonist
and
inside
says,
of him.
"Heh, I'm not impressed. Heh, you're gonna have to do better than that.
And
Heh, not even close."
ironically, in a different genre, he reminds me of Amon. In that the more I actually see of him on screen, and the more I actually know about him, the less interested in him I am.
Heh, not even close.
Nice try.
Nice try, nerd. Maybe one of these days you'll make me flex my muscles just a little bit.
The best thing I can say for him is
That was impressive. I felt a drop of sweat just now.
the best thing I will say about Mr. Sukuna is that sort of staple gunning the sealed evil in a can to superpowered evil side is a fun idea.
That's an interesting idea, certainly, yeah.
So yes, I will freely admit it is very amusing that what is functionally the main villain of this is just sort of along for the ride through other shit.
The only problem being,
the more you see of him, the less interesting he gets, which is
because ultimately he's just not a fucking interesting character.
Yeah.
He's sort of the antagonistic flip to Voltigode in that way. And yeah, I know that, your main antagonist needs to be super formidable or whatever, but the problem is that when this also makes him extremely boring too.
I mean, formidable is only like one symptom of this fucking thing. Like,
Sure.
in fact, if you look at what he said, he talks a lot about how he fucking acts. Like, wherever he is on the fucking power scale, you need a personality for all this screen time.
Yeah, he's mostly just unpleasantly edgy.
It just doesn't fucking scan for me.
There's no fucking charisma behind it either. At least not that I felt. Okay, what else we got for antagonists? Okay, Fruits Basket. I just never fucking watched or read Fruits Baskets. I don't know about the Sakito Soma guy, so I can't speak to that. Sorry, if you were waiting for me to, be right or wrong about Akito Soma, I'm really sorry. I just didn't fucking do it.
Fuck it. You know what? Since I am never gonna find the time to write or read Fruits Basket, I'm going to assume he's fucking brilliant. Good job, Akita.
Okay. Echidna from ReZero starting life.
Nah, fuck it.
Fuck it. No, Dorohedoro N. Alright, so now I think I can just go ahead and talk about Dorohedoro. It looked like a Borderlands cutscene, and I couldn't fucking get into it. I got about 45 seconds into the first episode and called it fucking quits. I'm sorry, I just don't like it. I don't like how it looked, and I couldn't watch it.
At the end of the day, everyone, it sounds mean, but anime is composed of light and sound. And if the light hurts...
and the light hurt.
If the light hurts, we just can't fucking do it.
I'm real sorry. Everyone for a fucking year was telling me how fucking kino this thing was, and I'm just gonna say, I'll read the manga one of these days.
The root word in kino is kinetoscope.
I'll read the manga. I'm sure it's great.
I'm gonna read the fucking XR manga on a bet, by the way, because if it's great, I will laugh my ass off even harder.
I know that it exists.
Alright, Overhaul. So, it's kind of an awkward pick for villain of the year. Not because he's a bad villain, but because he's not in the top 2 villains in his own franchise.
No, he was... I never felt him to be...
He's basically a character design and a cool power. Like, as a character, he's not much. Like,
no, I wouldn't say so. No, he's a...
And the arc kind of gets away with it because...
It's not about him.
It's not about him.
It's never about him. It's about Eri, and given that I don't like Eri very much, it's fascinating that I loved this arc to the degree that I did.
At the end of the day, you could have replaced Overhaul with fucking All For One releasing an evil mech that can absorb things and recreate them. And it's like, oh shit, Deku, do something.
I feel like he's getting... I honestly feel like he got this nomination because of that final fight. And it was a great fight, certainly.
It's a great fight, but I feel like he could have had that with any bad person of that power set with those stakes. Like, there's not something... Again, Overhaul isn't even the best... Here, villain present in that story arc. I like Shiggy, I know.
Yeah, Shigi's great.
Yeah.
Alright, Rachel from Tower of God. I've got everyone who fucking liked that thing telling me how much worst girl she is. The fact that that Mommy is not on this list is a robbery. She was the best villain of this year. I speak, of course, of the main antagonist of Rent-A-Girlfriend.
As weaves from birth till death, there will be a sort of action tilt bias in villain.
It's such fucking bullshit. It was such a goddamn snub. Mommy is one of the most fascinatingly, realistically written, horrible fucking people I've seen in an anime.
You know what? I'm gonna...
Like, I don't hate people the way that I hate her.
I'm gonna dip into the male comedian well. Mm-hmm. Hopefully not to me, but whatever. If you don't think Mommy belongs on this list, you're not divorced. Next category.
Next category. Alright, best protagonist.
Alright, this should be interesting.
Ooh. Alright.
Hit me with the beats.
Yuji Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen. Shoyu Hinata from Haikyuu to the top. Natsume from Decadence. Midori Asakusa, Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. Anos Voltigode the misfit of Demon King Academy.
Oh, I'm sorry. In case I wasn't pointed towards the microphone, I said this. Eat my ass.
And the winner, inexplicably, Katarina Claes, My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. She was fine. She was fine, guys. She was not annoying. That was the bar. That was the bar, and you have rewarded her disproportionately for not being boring and annoying the way that isekai protagonists 99% of the time are. So, congratulations, Katarina Claes, for being the 1% in this regard. You were not bad, but no, Asakusa was the best protagonist of the year. Fuck you, fight me.
There's an expression called a Alabama 6.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, an Alabama 10.
Jesus.
Which is like a New York 6 and a California 4. And that is what Katarina is. She is in anime's Alabama.
I don't think Natsume from Decadence deserved to be on this list. I think that she was okay as a protagonist. I think
she's kind of a default POV type.
I think that she was an okay protagonist in an above-average show, and got more credit than I ultimately felt like she deserved. Again, Midori Asakusa was the best protagonist of this year. Nose full to goad, eat my entire ass, get your tongue way the fuck up in there, kiss my butt, I don't give a damn.
So I would not burden the Dunkin' Donuts Corporation when it comes to Miss Academy with 2 fights in 1 week in its parking lot.
Just beat their ass twice.
But that's okay. Beat their ass because there's a Staples parking lot.
Right across the street.
Across the street. And when I am done fucking pulverizing the other asshole, you can meet me there at 1 a.m. and we can settle this.
Alternatively, if you were the same asshole, I'll beat your ass in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot. And once I'm done beating your ass in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, we can go across the street and I'll beat your ass in the fucking Staples parking lot.
We look forward to meeting our fan base. Yuji Itadori.
He was fun.
The sense of humor about him is good. Ironically, given how much I don't like about Jujutsu Kaisen, he's one of the better moving parts.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I will not be unfair to Jujutsu Kaisen as much as ultimately it did not work for me. Yuji was a fun guy. He was a fun protagonist. I found him pretty compelling. Way the fuck more compelling than Yuman Sakuna.
I will say that what I said about the antagonist thing seems to hold true for protagonist. I thought there'd be a little more diffusion, but there's a weird genre lockout thing happening here that I'm not a fan of.
Whoa, what do you mean?
Like,
oh yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's
like only Eizoken is sort of breaching like the mainline shonen isekai sort of genre molds.
I thought that Kazuya, from Rent-A-Girlfriend should probably be on the best protagonist list. I found his struggle fascinating. I found his character fascinating. I found, like, the things that he wanted and the things that he, was ashamed of fascinating.
I was kind of hoping to see... I don't think he would have taken it, but I was kind of hoping to see our lead con from Great Pretender here, but what you gonna do?
He was fun, but I always found him to be only as interesting as he needed to be, ultimately. I did not find, ultimately, that there was anything that really particularly set him apart from... Yeah, I don't know. He was no Danny Ocean.
No Danny Ocean. Fair enough. All right. Hit me with the next category.
This is the final category, unfortunately. We're almost at the end here. We come upon now Anime of the Year. Do you have... Actually, I'm not going to... I'll let it be a surprise for you if you were not reading already. So I'm just going to list everything off. We'll get to honorable mentions after this.
Hi.
All right. Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin.
Makes sense.
Great Pretender. Dorohedoro. Beastars. First time fucking showing up this year, Appare Ranman. great fucking show. I don't know
Great,
why nothing from it showed up earlier.
I was really expecting it to pop up in the character designs.
Right? Right? Your character design alone. And the winner, because people get to vote for this, I guess, Jujutsu Kaisen. Which is wrong. It wasn't.
Representative democracy, huh?
The failure of populism.
Time for some bullying. Here's my ultimate take on fucking Jujutsu Kaisen.
Please.
When it comes to this fucking dark fantasy shonen thing, it is a popular idea whose fan base is so starved and their palate so desiccated from just eating other shit. All of which, you know what, I'll admit, all the other shit, just worse than Jujutsu Kaisen.
Worse than Jujutsu Kaisen, yeah.
The
Jujutsu Kaisen is not even like a bad show.
It's not a bad
just
show.
Undeserving of this title.
But like, you give this sliver of people who've been hankering for their beach replacement something that can like tell stories that have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and their assholes are just blown open with amazement.
I don't even fucking know, because like in the same fucking year we got, you know, Hero Aka, and at the end of it
I'm
we
talking
got
all shonen. I'm talking like specifically like this sort of post-Bleach, like late teens monster hunting, vague rebellion. There's a niche. Like they had.
Oh yeah, I think they need to get rid of that. I think they need to let go of that genre and move on to a better one. Because I think that it has only been done well by Yu Yu Hakusho.
Because there is a tradition of shows that this is in, and it does it better than a lot of what they have been eating for 6 years of glass on their tongue and tears in their eyes.
I think that's more indicative not of the fact that there have not been any good entries in this genre, and more that it's maybe not even that good of a genre. I think it was a very good show back in 1993 or whatever.
Running in a crowd.
And then it became a genre, inexplicably.
They just wanted that Kuwabara money.
Although, then again, I did like Kimono Jihen, so I might just be full of shit here.
Oh yeah, we might be total fucking hypocrites. In fact, I think its anime will come out next year or the year after. The thing about Chainsaw Man is that it's basically a smart person's take on this entire fucking axis.
Okay.
So, I almost don't even want to say that this concept could never be done well by anyone, anywhere. But seeing something like Chainsaw Man just really reveals what meager fare in the spectrum you people have been eating until now. And I'm not saying like it's something more intelligent. I mean, it's more intelligently put together, but it's not more like air quotes intelligent and or mature in themes. It's just like, I don't know, freshness matters, execution matters. Me not nodding off in the middle of your 5th episode, yeah, it fucking happened, matters.
Yeah, I did lose interest in Jujutsu Kaisen pretty, literally as soon as the fists start flying, I kind of just turn it off, because the thing that it is most needs to get right, it doesn't.
It is unfortunate, like my entire experience with this show, regardless of all the other aspects I do think are fun or work, don't fucking matter, because it's a long-form action show in a sequence of tropes
it needs to deliver on its promises, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so Beastars. I need to finally, like... Ultimately, it comes down to some really elemental shit for me in Beastars. Because a lot of people really fucking love this show, thought that I just thought it was so dour and self-serious and melodramatic, and thought it was so fucking fascinating. And I just could not fucking hold any interest, because, like, at every single fucking point in this show, it was just so fucking pregnant with poignancy. And, oh God, I couldn't fucking do it. I just, like, it was not interesting enough to me. The characters were not interesting enough, or charming enough, it wasn't funny enough. All of these fucking things were just not sufficient for me to find the story they were telling to be that amazingly fascinating. Because it just felt to me like this series was so goddamn in love with itself, and the story that it was telling about how people interact with one another, and its metaphor and its central metaphor. I'm not quite going to do the jack off motion right now, but it just didn't fucking work for me.
There is a basket of themes in a party where B&A is doing coke in the front room on the table, and B stars in the corner smoking a cigarette, looking at everyone else,
getting kind of wine drunk and talking shit about other party goers.
Yeah,
no, I would absolutely agree with that assessment. It just wasn't interesting enough. Ultimately, I think people were definitely drawn to its look, and to the sort of like minor controversy that its look provoked. But I just do not think that there was anything, or at least enough going on. Or maybe there was, and I was just too amazingly turned off by its tone, because like there just have to be moments in a fucking show that are more entertaining than they are meaningful. And I just was never entertained by that show. I just always felt like I should be in awe at its brilliance and the story that it was telling, and I just fucking wasn't.
So 2 quick notes and then 1 extended note.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First off, Apari Ranman, I just still don't have a bad word to say about that show.
It's so good. It's so fun.
Second fucking note, this award show doesn't have a movie category.
It doesn't.
Which is really weird, and I don't know, 2021 tip there.
Ooh, either thrice upon a time, or people fucking riot.
3, going towards Great Pretender. Great Pretender is a great show. B+, A-. But its first season, second that I started it, good time so far, its first season is going to be locked into that grade for me. Because there is a choice...
I think that was it. I think it's over after that.
Oh, all 3 of those segments are just the whole of the thing?
I think it's about 24 episodes or so. Oh, maybe you saw the first release and didn't get to see the rest of it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool.
Well, first season or release, whatever. Arc of the first 8 episodes, my point here.
Okay, sure.
A lot of the show is sort of dragged down to that grade score / level by... As a pure plotting thing, maybe even a pure taste thing. And I get the idea of just sort of revealing the extent of their skill by having all the people be con artists all along in the drug plot. But while maybe good for your, what I can describe as con artist power scaling, it is a really, really dramatically deflating move.
Oh, just how... And they do it a lot, too.
Yeah, and you have to understand that you have to be careful of that fire, because it has the potential to be the crime drama equivalent of It Was All a Dream.
Yeah. I mean, it was done... See, here's the thing. That everyone's fucking chasing Ocean's 11. Because it was done so fucking perfectly in Ocean's 11 that everyone wants some of that fire, but it just burns them.
It just burns them. Be careful of Prometheus will be my only warning.
Okay. Out of all these entries, and I said my piece about Dorohedoro. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just flat out wrong, but I couldn't
Light and sound. Call me a boomer.
Out of all these entries, yeah, keep your hands off Isaac every fucking day of the week. However, that being said, my anime of the year was a 4-minute long music video called Gotcha.
All right, everyone, we're going to take a little deviation here. By the way, this is also why I think there needs to be a section for shorts and movies, because otherwise you're going to hit this whole shit.
You hit this whole fucking thing. No, Gotcha was fucking perfect. It made me cry every time I watched it. It was, for anyone who does not know, a music video for Bump of Chicken's single, Acacia, I believe. Or either that or Kaya. I think it's Acacia. And it was basically made as a music video to hype up the release of a fucking Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC. And the whole thing was basically this love letter to the entire Pokemon franchise from its very beginning up to where it is now. It is, just in concept, it basically just tells this, like, one very quick little story about these two trainers who, have lost their respective Pokemon and then find them. And then throughout all of this, it just, it just fucking gives you this macrocosm of the entire Pokemon saga up to then. And
sort of a quick panoramic view.
Yeah, showing my hand right here. I've been with Pokemon basically since its beginning.
Oh, dude, anyone who watches this show, there's a
I have to
Pokemon
imagine.
cycle.
Cannot imagine that I'm not alone in this. And just in how fucking beautifully it was animated, the detail that it is given, the efficiency in which it tells its very, very simple story. The like character that is given to these characters who do not have any dialogue because again it's a music video. Just the amount of personality that each of these four characters, the two trainers and their two Pokemon, are given. And just like what a fucking, just the fucking love that is present in this fucking thing. Nothing like this made me feel this way throughout the entirety of last year in anime. I have to I liked it better than Isaacan. I was not fucking expecting that, but here we are.
That is a fair place to be. I enjoy that. If I were to describe that thing, it's not my anime of the year. I did enjoy it. Mm-hmm. There should just be a shorts category. Yeah. But the spirit of the thing and what's successful about it reminds me a lot of if you've ever had the luck / economic circumstances to be in Disneyland / World.
Sure. Yeah.
Any of the Fantasmic shows.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, okay.
That's the kind of feeling I get. Like, it's basically sort of summing up a generation of creative content. Mm-hmm. And the sort of feeling that it evokes. And
exactly why it evokes that feeling, too.
And packaging it very quickly. And I would say I will always appreciate that kind of...
Yeah, absolutely. And, like, to sort of further the sort of Disneyland, Disney World metaphor, there is this... Again, and it's not a point against you if, you've been and you did not feel this, or if you think that I'm, some fucking cultist for having felt this way. But no, there is a feeling, at least for me, and for, I'm sure, a whole bunch of other people, going to Disney World, right? Specifically Disney World for me. And just walking down Main Street, USA, and hearing, the fun music playing, and, like, all the fucking street performers, and looking at the castle, and looking, past that statue of Walt holding hands with Mickey Mouse at the castle, and just having all of it just sort of be there surrounding you, and actually breaking down into fucking tears. Having, loved all the things that, sort of Disney has done, over the course of my life and way, way before I was even born, right? And by the same token, having loved Pokemon as a franchise for my entire life, as far as, like media franchises that have been with me my entire life, or at least since I was introduced with them, I think the only two with more longevity in my lives would be Looney Tunes and Star Wars. Like, it went Looney Tunes, Star Wars, and then Pokemon, like in 1996, 97
that's what's kicking in the core of your heart.
That's what's, like, fucking there. That's what's been with me since, the beginning of time. So I'm very much revealing my bias right here, certainly. But this video, this, like, 3 or 4 minute long video got so efficiently to the core of what that feeling is and why it exists. Again, both in me and in a lot of other people. Mm-hmm. People I know, even. So, I'm not just making these people up.
We promise this stuff is real, people.
I think that there is something to be said for all of that. And I love how... And again, I love stuff that rewards a rewatch the way that video does. It super rewards a rewatch. You can actually go through it, like, with a fine-tooth comb and find a different fun little thing in it every single time. And it'll be something you recognize if you've been playing the games or whatever. Like, one thing that I didn't even fucking understand at first, because I had to go through it really quickly, or really slowly, rather, was, that one shot kind of early on where they're going past, like, the big panels of people or whatever, and I didn't understand that was just all of the various Pokemon types and all of the gym leaders associated with that type. So that was, like... That was just kind of a fun little moment right there when that clicked. Anyway,
I'm glad you put that personal flavor on that segment of the show, man. This really is a fun Mailu when you get past all the bullshit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I'll.
Oh, by the way, since there are two of us, and I probably should just say what I think in terms of the anime of the year for 2020 specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking got him. I'm a big believer in the pure comedy in a lot of ways, so I thought it was locked because they really hit like that pure level I think that format can. And for a long time, for my season, Kaguya-sama was just walking through the House of Leaves in Oronishi's robes, celebrating its victory. And then there is this sudden shock. The music stops in the main room. And fucking Aizoken is standing next to... Aizoken is standing next to an armless Appare Ranman. And it is here to have some words with you.
And I fucking adored Aizoken too. Like, that's easily my... Like, the thing that just... But it was honestly basically the exact same thing happened to me.
And it's a statement, by the way, for Aizoken and Kaguya that they actually outpaced Appare for me, because Appare is very much in a made-for-me kind of Mailu.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, it's a visually crazy show, strong action tinges.
And it's about a race, which is always so much fun.
About race, which is just a great framing device. Mm-hmm. Like, I can even get through, like, Rat Race or something. So, for all the other things that have happened lately... In terms of the upper bound, I would call it a strong year for anime.
I think it was a very strong year for anime. I think it was a strong year for anime in which Jujutsu Kaisen, which one is still a show that I could find a bunch of fucking defensible qualities for.
It's true, and in a different time, Jujutsu Kaisen even would have been adapted in a format where every beat is stretched out for 6 episodes.
That's true, yeah.
And no matter what you think or don't think of the core material, that style of long form shonen adaptation is unfucking watchable.
Well, it did a very useful thing, which is I thought when I was younger, right, and I was watching Bleach and I was watching Naruto, and I thought that the reason why I couldn't fucking stand this anymore is because it dragged out for so long. No, it turns out that if you condense all of that to just an episode, it still sucks.
Because took us past that little fallacy.
Because Jujutsu Kaisen is a apotheosis of and love letter to a genre that I have no better word for than competitive tax filing. Because that's what it feels like. Just them, basically explaining to one another all the T's they crossed and I's they dotted in order to kick your ass. And then, the fight progresses forward an inch or so. And then a new set of paperwork is then filed. They tap their mana. They swing for 12. Someone blocks. Oh, shit. Someone in response to that is going to play an instant. Right? And, oh, wait. But in response to that, I'm going to sack my artifact. and that is what it fucking... Have you ever been... present in a room of people who are playing Magic the Gathering, but you're not?
Oh, man.
That is what Jujutsu Kaisen feels like. That is what Black Clover feels like. That is what Bleach felt like. That is what Naruto felt like. That is why I do not feel like watching Boruto. It's why I didn't even feel like watching... It's why I was so disappointed to learn that Jujutsu Kaisen was this. After all of the hype, right? Because I was hearing all sorts of people being like, oh shit, guys, this is such a fantastic distillation. No, it's not. It's a fucking fan fiction.
I agree with a lot of that about the sort of competitive tax filing mentality. Unfortunately, sort of drawn from a artless version of sort of lines that JoJo popularized, at least on the US front.
Yeah.
You know what's fucking wild?
What's that?
When I think about, like, the other pillars of, like, sort of money-making shonen action, Dragon Ball and One Piece aren't really like that. They're like a fucking... The action instead of like a 12-year-old of cocaine and crayons, and I think they're better served by that.
One Piece, certainly. It's why I did not list that It's why I did not list that show in, the grand list of shows that I wish weren't like this. Dragon Ball, okay, showing my ass here. Didn't watch it. Didn't watch Dragon Ball Z.
It has the strengths and weaknesses that I've laid out to you before.
Yeah.
It's what it is. Oh man, even that sentence got me some fucking hate mail.
Well, here's the thing. It because it was contemporaneous with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, right? Or at least the original, when he's a kid arcs are. It does not suffer from the comparison as much as all of this other stuff that are very much the children of JoJo, right? Everything takes forever. It just takes forever, not because they're trying to convince one another that their powers are stronger than another, or than their opponents. It takes forever because they're charging up an attack and people are not shutting the fuck up about how they're charging up an attack.
I'm gonna do it eventually.
Oh my god, he's gonna do it eventually.
Anyway, in short, suck it, dragon friends. We love you. This has been Weeaboo Hell.
It is Weeaboo Hell.
And this is our coverage of the Crunchyroll Awards business. Have a good one.